No, don't do it.
I don't know what day it is. I don't know what day it is, what time it is, what hat to wear.
Okay. Welcome to the Garden of the Spirit, a class studying apples from the orchard for the second time around. This class meets in Longmeadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contain selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Lutsky. Today we are up to the third section of Noah. We're going to start on page 45. Okay, today we have some short things. Okay. Today we have some shorter things, and probably also easier.
Days, Rudy.
Couldn't get on with what were you busy with, Rudy? Getting your schnitzel?
Yeah, well, no, that's Alan. I have nothing to do with that. I had a conference call.
Yeah. What was it about? Chicago, Portland, Seattle?
None of the above.
Mm-hmm. The lady doth protest.
Who, Kamala?
Yeah.
Can you all see this? No, you can't.
Is Jim joining us or no?
I just called. There was no. He said he might not, and I called. There was no answer.
Okay.
I spoke to my cousin yesterday. Okay, now this you can see. Well, some of you can see it.
Right.
Alan can't.
Why can't Alan?
I can see it. I just can't read it. There's a difference.
Font's too small.
There we go.
I spoke to my cousin. He lives right where the looting happened in Chicago. I guess upstairs. So they're okay. All right.
Well, every Democratic run city is self-imploding. So.
Yeah. Yep.
But let's vote for the Democrats.
Yes, go. Yes. Okay.
All right. We'll have some more politics here later.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Okay. So the Jewish people have 613 mitzvahs. We all know that. The Torah also records 7 mitzvahs for all of mankind. The universal laws, the 7 laws of Noach. All people are children of Noach. 6 of these laws are listed by Adam. Not to steal, not to murder, not to worship idols, not to commit adultery, not to curse God, and to have a court system. Those are hinted at by Adam. Until Noah, the people were not allowed to eat meat, only plant life. Then, after the flood, Hashem permitted people to eat meat, and he also gave the 7th mitzvah, which was not to eat the limb that came from an animal while it was alive. So even if the animal is shechted afterwards or killed afterwards, you still can't eat this limb because it came from a live animal called Aver Min HaChai. So with the 7th mitzvah that people are allowed to eat meat, also with permission that people are allowed to eat meat, Hashem also gave a 7th mitzvah. That is the segue here. Once we mention that, we're going to talk about animals, bugs, their purpose. And over there, Hashem says, even though I permit you to kill animals, you're not allowed to kill people, and the whole thing. So based on what we're learning, we understand more and more that nothing is created without a purpose, even each individual insect. The Arizal would not kill a bug, even if it bit him. There's a verse in Proverbs, even his enemies make peace with him, and it can be understood that animals or bugs leave him alone. So the verse in Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, will the snake bite without a whisper, without whispering? The Hebrew word whispering, lachash, also refers to the charm of the snake charmer. So I don't know if that's connected to here. In our case, it means the snake only bites if Hashem intends it to. Okay, and we will start. How many does this go? This goes to 5. We'll start here. Alan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Begin page 45 at the top.
No creature without a purpose. And Hashem blessed Noach and his sons and said to them, when Noach came out of the ark after the flood, Hashem rearticulated the 7 Noachide law commandments to him. Included in these commandments is the prohibition of tearing the flesh off a living animal, which generalizes to causing unnecessary pain to animals. Regarding killing animals, it is mentioned in the Zohar that no creature was created purposelessly. It is therefore forbidden to kill it purposelessly. As the sages state, all that the Holy One, blessed be he created only for his honor. As it is written, all that is called in my name and for my honor, I created it. I formed it. I even made it. We will now see how the Arizal took this statement to extreme conclusions, conducting himself with extreme piety in this manner. My teacher, the Arizal, was very careful not to kill any bug, even the smallest and lowliest, such as fleas, lice, flies, and the like, even when they bit him. We know what the sages say, commenting on the verse. His enemies will also make peace with him. That some say this refers to the dog, and others say this refers to the snake, and still others say this refers to the flea. This idea is the answer of Rabbi Elazar to Rabbi Chetzkiah, recorded in the Zohar, where the mystical meaning of the verse, will the snake bite without whispering, is explained.
One moment. So we do have a story. It's not brought down in this book, but it's a well-known story. There was a snake in the town of Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa that was biting people. Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa was a rabbi of the Mishnah. He was extremely, extremely poor, but we have a number of amazing stories about him, including some that relate to his poverty. There was a snake in his town that was biting people, and people came and said that the people are being killed by the snake. He said, show me where the snake lives. He put his bare foot over the snake's hole, lair, den, and sure enough, the snake came up and bit his foot, and the snake died. And so Rabbi Hanina picked up the snake and showed it to the people and said, the snake only can kill if Hashem wants it to. There was a time that was, I think some kind of lizard that met him, and they said, woe to the person who meets this lizard, but woe to the lizard who meets Rabbi Hanina. And I thought it said somewhere that, I couldn't find it this week, but I thought I saw somewhere it says that it's not the snake that kills, or not the venom that kills, but the sin that kills. But I did not find that. And I didn't find the source for this either. So I didn't look it up in the source. But anyways, that is that story. And finally, we're going to finish by saying that when a person, so there are some bugs, lice or something that are spoken about in halacha that aren't actually created, born, or whatever you say, bug, opposite of bugs, from a male and female, but they are produced by things like sweat. Okay, right now I'm cleaning out my garbage can. I opened it. There were a few weeks ago. There were thousands of
Larvae.
larvae. Thank you. Thousands of larvae there. I have bleach in there. I still haven't gotten rid of so much of the smell.
Right.
I'm convinced that those bugs are also come from the dirt. Anyways, so sweat is the excretion of klipa from a person. It's good that the klipa, obviously it's good that the klipa leaves the body. And some small bugs are created from the sweat. Since the sweat serves a good purpose, that you're getting rid of your klipa or of your dross, it's not good to kill those creatures. That's how he finishes off. Go ahead, Alan. You can read page 46.
Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Chitzkiah were walking and came across a snake. Rabbi Chitzkiah was about to kill it, but Rabbi Elazar told him not to. Rabbi Chitzkiah protested, saying that it is a dangerous creature. Rabbi Elazar quoted the above verse, interpreting it to mean that a snake only bites a person if Hashem whispers to him to do so. Hashem created snakes in order to kill certain people and thereby prevent them from doing some evil. To be sure, we should not kill any creatures unnecessarily, but refraining from killing animals that pose a threat to human life or communicate diseases contradicts the requirements of Jewish law, and it is doubtful whether any Torah authority would permit this. Indeed, it is permitted to kill harmful snakes on Shabbos when killing is otherwise altogether prohibited. The Arizal, we may presume, did not have to worry about leaving snakes alive because he did not have to fear being struck down by one to prevent him from sinning. On the other hand, we see that he was bitten by insects and bugs. The question is how the Arizal could refrain from killing snakes and the like and allow them to pose a threat to others' lives. Perhaps the Arizal only meant that we should not kill snakes in their natural wild habitat, but that if they venture into heavily peopled areas, we should kill them or, if possible, return them back to the wild. But all of this is just conjecture. It could just as well be that the Arizal advocated avoided killing creatures altogether, even at the expense of human life. It is also not proper to kill or despise lice, which are born and created out of sweat. This is true especially of lice produced on the heads of good people. For sweat is the excess energy of the person and his dross, and from it these lice are created. This being the case, it is a boon and a rectification for the person when lice are created out of the sweat of his body. For in this way excess dross and evil is excreted. Since they perform a positive function, we should not despise them.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions or comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about not killing any creatures like that. I don't.
What?
I don't know if I agree with not killing some creatures like some mosquitoes or those things.
They write about that.
Yeah.
Right? They address it.
Yeah.
He says, that was the Arizal was extreme. He also understood, and I think the bottom line is that every single creature has a purpose, not just bees have a purpose or mosquitoes have a purpose. Each individual bee, each individual mosquito has its purpose. Okay, but that is the main point, and not expect and the Arizal couldn't bring himself to kill it. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, fine, thanks. Stop share. Share screen. Next one. Okay, next is the story of after the flood. Noach, we know the story. He planted a vineyard. He drank. He got drunk. He removed his clothes. His grandson Canaan saw and told his father Ham. Differences of opinion. Some say Ham sodomized Noach. Some say he castrated him. And Shem and Yefet then came and they covered Noach with a blanket. Any questions so far?
Don't some say that both happened?
What?
Don't some also say that both happened?
I haven't seen that.
But didn't he have more sons afterwards?
No.
After the flood?
That's a good question. I should double check that. Officially, no.
All his sons just populated the earth.
Yeah, but we have to see what the Torah says on that. Okay. Unlike you, Alan, I don't have a chumash with an arm's length. I'll look it up maybe while we're reading.
Okay, I can't do
Okay,
all
so
that.
Noach then blessed. No. Then Noach cursed Ham, and he blessed Shem and Yefes. His curse to Ham was directed at Canaan, Ham's son, but not at Ham himself. Noach blessed Shem with the name Havaya, and he blessed Yefet with the name Elokim. To Shem he said, Baruch Hashem Elokei Shem. Blessed Havaya, the God of Shem. And for Yefes, he said, Yaft Elokim leyefes. Elokim will grant beauty to Yefes. Okay.
In the Chumash, it says, Hashem blessed Noach and his sons, and he said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the land.
Later.
After the flood.
No. You're looking at the wrong. I think look it up later, okay?
Yes.
I'll double check there. I have over here. It's a question, and if we find it as a question, we're not going to address it now anyways.
Okay.
I don't have an answer.
All right.
So your number two begs an obvious question.
Go ahead, please.
Why did he curse Canaan as opposed to cursing Ham?
That's the question. That is the question. So
Okay, yeah.
Rashi says that the following. Ham reasoned that Adam had two sons, Cain and Hevel, and they got into a fight and Cain killed Hevel. Okay, the world is 25,000 miles around at the equator. And there were only 4 people in the world officially, and yet and they couldn't coexist, and Cain killed Hevel. 25% of the world's population was wiped out on that day. It's kind of like, it might be a little bit of a legend, but they say that at a time when there were only 2 cars in the entire country, or 3 cars in the entire country, 2 of them bumped into each other and had an accident. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
Wait, how can there be 4 people?
Adam, Chava, Cain, and Hevel.
Well, that's the official.
Official number.
Oh, official number. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just official number. So Chum said, if you have 2 kids and they couldn't figure out the how to divide up the world, and they had the whole world at their fingertips, then Noach already has 3 kids. And can you imagine what it's going to be like if he has a 4th kid? We'll have World War III.
1,
1.
0.
So World War BCE. So he said, I better make sure my father doesn't have kids. Okay, and he snipped him. So since he prevented his father from having a 4th child, Noach cursed Ham's 4th child. Canaan was the 4th son of Ham. Noach cursed Ham's 4th child. All right? Who asked
Right.
the question? Rudy?
Yeah.
That is what Rashi says. But here we're going to give another answer, a Kabbalistic answer.
Okay.
Okay. So
Right.
that is the background. A little bit more. First of all, Noach said, Baruch Hashem, the God of Shem. And what's interesting to note is that in the entire Torah, there are about 6 or 7 times that it says Baruch Hashem, blessed is Hashem. Not one of those times is from the Jewish people. Noach was the first. Lavan said it. Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, said it. Yisro said it. Makes 4. And I think Avimelech, and I think Shem, the son of Noach, perhaps. Melchizedek may have said it. So not it just so happens. I have no insight on it. Just that none of them were Jewish people, or people from Bnei Israel. The Elokim will grant beauty to Yefet. Yefet itself means beauty. So Yaft Elokim liyefet, Elokim will grant beauty to Yefet itself is a play on words. It's paranomasia. In what way is Yefet beautiful? Yefet, basically, very, very general terms, of the 3 of them, Ham inherited Africa, Shem inherited, I think, Asia, and Yefet, the Middle East. I think, in very general terms, or Middle East or Asia. What did I say? And Yefet inherited Europe. In very simple terms. You know, there's those maps from 1,000 years ago that show, like, it looks like 3 leaves, the continents, shows them as 3 leaves all meeting at one spot. Of course, the 3 continents meet at Israel, which itself is Asia, but it's just over the river from Africa and also very close to Europe. It's the land bridge between the 3 continents, between the 2 continents and in Africa. So basically, Yefet had one, and then the Torah in this Parsha Noach lists 70 nations that were established from these 3. From Yefet, there was one nation that stands out, when I guess in civilization, and that is the Greek nation, Yavan. And the Greek, I don't know if it's true for the current day Greek, but the Greek of 2,000 years ago was a beautiful language. They had a beautiful culture. And I guess it was a musical language. I don't know in what way it's a beautiful language. I guess it means that it was musical. So when Noach said that Hashem will grant beauty to Yefet, it means that Yefet was blessed with a descendant nation of Greece, And he said, V'yishkon b'olei Shem, that Yefet will dwell in the house of Shem. In what way will Yefet dwell in the house of Shem? So according to one opinion, a Torah scroll can be written in Greek. Okay, we all know a Torah scroll has to be written in Hebrew. There is one opinion, and Tefillin and Mezuzah, there's one opinion that says, based on this verse, that the beauty of Yefet will dwell in the tent of Shem, that Torah may be written in Greek. I don't remember if it's Hebrew letters and in Hebrew letters just to write the Greek, or if it was Greek letters to write the Hebrew. I think it was I don't remember. But in any case, that according to this one opinion, a Torah scroll would be kosher. So we're going to ask Rudy exactly that question. Why? Two questions. Why did he not bless Cham? Did Noach not curse Cham? And why did he bless Shem with Havaya and bless Yefet with Elokim? Okay. Gershon, would you like to begin? Page 46 at the bottom. Noach, section 4.
Noah's blessings. He said, "Cursed be Canaan, he will be a servant of servants to his brothers." And he said, "Blessed be Hashem, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. Let Hashem grant beauty to Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." After the flood, Noah became drunk and was castrated by his third son, Ham. His first two sons, Shem and Japheth, covered him. When he awoke, he blessed Shem and Japheth and cursed Ham's son, Canaan. Let us understand why Noah used the name Havaya in blessing Shem and the name Elohim in blessing Japheth. Also, let us understand why he cursed Canaan and not Ham, who committed the sin.
All right.
Explanation.
So now let's look at number 3. In the ark, Noach and his 3 sons personified 3 parts of Yesod. Each of the 10 spheres is subdivided into the 10 spheres. So Yesod is also subdivided into Netzach, that corresponds to Shem, Hod was Ham, and Yesod was Yefet. Exactly why this is, I'm not sure. Now, Yosef HaTzadik is also, he's known as the personification of the holiness of Yesod. When we speak about someone who personifies Chesed, we're speaking about Abraham. We talk about someone who personifies Gvura, we refer to Yitzchak. When we talk about personifying Yesod, we mean Yosef. Yosef corresponds to the Brit Milah, and Yesod corresponds to the Brit Milah. And Yosef exercised great restraint as an 18-year-old teenager, resisting the advances of Mrs. Potiphar. Yosef is described in the Torah as Yefei Toar, good-looking, and his mother Rachel is also described as Yefat Toar, beautiful. Yefei Toar is the male way to say it, and Yefat Toar is the female way to say it. These words are related to Yefet. Yefet means good-looking, beautiful, nice. So the word Yefet is either like Rachel, Yefat Toar, that means beautiful of, Yefat means beautiful of, Toar, appearance. Or Yosef, Yefei Toar, you could say the initials would be Yud Pei Taf, Yefet. Or just Yaakov himself, Yosef himself was Yafei, and Yefet is Yefet. It's a very close word. One moment. Okay, go ahead, Gershon.
The explanation. Noah and his 3 sons in the ark personified Yesod and its 3 hues. These 3 hues are Netzah, personified by Shem, Hod, personified by Ham, and Yesod, personified by Japhet. This is alluded to in the verse, and Joseph was good looking. The words for good looking are Japhet Toar. When this expression is abbreviated according to the conventions of the technique known as notricon, the word Yefes, which is also the name Yafes, is formed. Alternatively, the feminine form of Yefet Toar, Yafa Toar, is used of Joseph's mother's Rachel. The word Yefat, spelled Yud Pei Tab, can be vocalized to read Yafes. In either case, inasmuch as Joseph is always associated with the Sephir of Yesod, it follows that Yafes is also associated with Yesod. Now,
Okay. Here we go. The name Shem, who was the highest of the three brothers, he corresponds to Netzach. Has three branches. The letter of the Shin, the letter Shin has three branches that are joined at the bottom. The three branches represent the three Sfirot, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. I have to fix what I wrote here. The initials of Chum and Yefet are Chet and Yud. That equals 18. I'm not sure why this is important here, why it says it. Yesod includes all three things, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. It says here, Yesod includes all three. We just said that Netzach includes all three. Now it says Yesod includes all three. This could be, it might mean that all three are within Yesod. Yesod is the Brit Milah. When we use Chai, life, referring to the male organ, it means it's in a state of arousal. We've had that at other times. The divine energy, and in spirituality, it means that the divine energy is flowing in holiness. We had it with the name Yitzchak. So Gershom, please read inside. Continue.
Now, a higher entity always retains a residue of the lower entities that pass through it, whereas the lower entities do not retain anything of the higher entity they pass through. Therefore, the Shin of Shem alludes to the three axes of Netzach, Hod, Yesod. The flow of divine beneficence flows first through Netzach, then through Hod, and then through Yesod, to Malchus. Of the triad Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Netzach is the highest, and thus primary one of the three. It retains a residue of Hod and Yesod, and what will be revealed as their light flows through it. This is alluded to by the Shin in the name Shem, the son of Noach, associated with Netzach. The Shin comprises three vertical stems resting on a horizontal base. These three stems allude to the three Sephirus of Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. Continue. The numerical value,
Yes,
well,
go on.
the numerical value of the initials of Ham and Yafes is 18. Ham, Hes, Mem, Yafes, Yud, Pei, Tab. Hes and Yud is 8 plus 10, 18. This is because Yesod includes all three.
Okay, and here I'm going to pick up. Number 7. So 8. As we said, Noach blessed Shem with the name Havaya. In Netzach, Havaya is dominant. Shem corresponds to Netzach. Havaya is dominant in Netzach. So get this one. The Hashem's name, Shin Dalid Yud, Shakai, is 314. Plus Havaya, 26, equals 340, the value of Shem. So Havaya corresponds to Shem. Perplexed? That's the best we get.
Yeah.
Now, you wrote the K instead of a Dalet on next to 314. Is that the way you meant to, or?
Right, just so you could say Elokim and not the actual name.
Okay,
You say
I understand.
Shakai instead of the actual name.
Yeah, I understand.
Bless you. Okay,
All right, so should I
Gershon, go ahead.
continue?
Yes.
In Netzah, the name Havaya predominates. For the numerical value of Shem, 340, is that of the name Havaya, 26, plus that of the name Shakai, 314. Noach therefore said, blessed be he, Havaya, the God of Shem, using the name Havaya. Shem, Shin, Mem, 300 plus 40, 340. Shakai, Shin, Dalet, Yud, 300 plus 4 for 40, 314.
Okay, so that is good. Thank you.
Wait. 300 plus 4 plus 40 is 344.
Where you get what?
1 minute.
Yeah, it's 340.
Let me get my red pen.
So
I told him that I've been, keeping
10 instead of 40.
Yud is 10, correct?
It is
Or-
10, not
yeah,
40.
Yud is 10. So that the 40 is the problem. So that
Yeah, 40 should be 10.
14 is correct.
Yeah.
Yud is 10. Yeah, Yud is 10.
314
All right.
is good. But change the
Thank
40
you.
to 10.
Thank you. Yeah, so I
Something
did
was
send him a message like two weeks ago. I told him that we're keeping I'm keeping track, and we're on the second time around. He was very happy to hear. He said, yes, please, by all means, keep and then send in. Okay, next. That's the
Number
same.
9.
We took care of Shem. Now we're going to go to Yefet. With Yefet, he says Noach blessed Yefet with the name Elohim. There are 3 minor constricted consciousness names of Elohim in Yesod. He doesn't really explain why. He just said that from expanded consciousness, I guess is the intellect. It goes into the to Yesod. It becomes constricted consciousness, and so that's the name, and 3 names Elohim. So the first Elohim with expanded spelling equals 300. The Aleph is 1. I'm sorry, expanded spelling. Aleph is 111. Lamed is 74, I think. Yeah, Lamed is 74. The Hey we know can be spelled 3 different ways. So this Hey is spelled Hey Yud. That's why I included here. Is 15, Yud is 20, Mem is 80, and that gives us 300. Expanded spelling of Elohim is 300. That's simple enough. The second Elohim, we take the regular value of Elohim, which is 86, add the 5 letters, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, and Mem, and then we add the 13 letters of the expanded spelling, the secondary expansion. And so 5 plus 13 plus 86, we get 104. And yes, that means we count the 5 base letters twice. Once as just the 5 letters of Elohim, and once again when they're used in the expanded spelling. That's okay. And so that's the second name Elohim. The third name Elohim, we take the regular value of Elohim, which is 86. And then, so now we got the first Elohim was 300. Second one was 104. Third one was 86. We get 490. And that is the same as Yefet. Yefet is 490. So the name Elohim works for Yefet. Okay, we got more. Okay, go ahead, Gershon, continue.
Mhm. When expanded consciousness enters Zenampin, the 3 names Elohim of constricted consciousness are relegated to Yesod. These 3 names Elohim are filled. The first is filled with Yuds, producing the numerical value of 300. The name Elohim is spelled Aleph, Lamed, He, Yud, Mem. When these letters are spelled out using the letter Yud to spell out the letter He, we have 300. The numerical value of the second is calculated as follows. We consider first the numerical value of the name Elohim itself, then the 5 letters of the name Elohim, And finally, the 13 letters used to spell it out. We thus have 6 plus 5 plus 13, 104. The numerical value of the name Elohim by itself is Aleph Lamed He Yud Mem 86. It can be seen from the chart above that 13 letters are used to spell out the name Elohim. The numerical value of the third is calculated by considering the numerical value of the name Elohim by itself, ignoring the number of its letters. That means 86. The sum of all this together is the value of Yafes, 300 plus 104 plus 86, 490. Yafes, Yud, Pei, Tab, 10 plus 80 plus 400, 490. Thus, we have again a association between Yafes and Yesod.
Okay, and then
But for me, it's more Yafes and Elohim than Yafes and Yesod.
yes.
But
Do you think it should be?
Yeah.
Do you think it should be Elohim?
I don't know. I didn't write the book.
I will ask him that. I'll leave it as a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll ask. Maybe I can just do the last. Do I have to do the last one?
Not yet.
This is why
Yeah,
Noach
yeah.
said, not yet, not yet. Okay.
Okay, 13 and 14. Thus, we see the numbers bear out the connections between Havaya and Shem, and Elohim and Yafet. Remember, it's not there are connections because the numbers are the same. That means that that tells us that tells us that they're connected, but that shows us that they are connected for other reasons. So they're connected because of other reasons, and then it just is borne out in the numbers. Anytime we have gematria, that's how it works, or any type of connection like that. Finally, the question, Noach did not curse Ham. We said that the three sons were three Spheras, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. By the way, we also talked about this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that the sons of Noach corrected the earlier sins. Ham is Hod, which is on the left side, so it's in the side of Gvura, but it only connects to Klipa when it extends below. That means to the children of Ham, to the progeny of Ham, but not to Ham himself. So that's why he didn't curse Ham. And you can read that now in here.
Somehow when you explained it before, indicating that Canaan is the fourth child, it would make it somehow fair if that would, if that would be the case, because Ham prevented a fourth child from Noah, therefore Noah kind of bans or curses Canaan, which is the fourth child. So then they are even. I don't know if that's in any mystically or humanistically, if it makes any sense that the father would try to get even with the son, but that's a different story. Not that the son was too nice, but
based on what we're learning here, I would say that, and it doesn't explain it here. But look, we've been learning this for over 6 years. We see all different types of connections, all different types of.
No explanation.
Huh?
I said there's no real explanation here.
We see lots of other explanations and other connections that we didn't have before. I would venture to say that Noah wanted to prevent the Klipa of Canaan from gaining too much power, of collecting, intercepting the divine energy, and through that bringing more Klipa and evil into the world. And so possibly that Noah gave him this curse so that he would be under the dominion of Shem and Yefet, and not have the control in the divine energy. That is a guess. I haven't seen that. We will have it in the next chapter, in chapter 5, that idea.
I like that answer the best because, and that makes sense because Noach probably was given Ruach HaKodesh and saw that Eretz Yisrael was going to come from Canaan, and probably didn't want the Canaanites to be overwhelmingly or exceedingly mighty, that they could not be defeated.
Thank you. That's yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
the last line kind of reinforces that, saying all that needs to be cursed of Hod, it's its evil progeny. So when it goes down,
Right.
to Klip, represented by Ham's progeny Canaan. So what you're saying is correct, that he prevent the
Mitzrayim comes from Ham as well.
Yes.
yeah.
And Cush and Put and Mitzrayim.
And
Cush usually being Ethiopia.
and the Plishtim.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't remember exactly where the Plishtim are from, but Ham's 4 children, Plishtim were later, but the Ham's 4 children were Cush and Mitzrayim, Put and Canaan. Cush is Ethiopia. I'm gonna say like Somalia. Sounds like Somalia to me. Yeah. Do you know any Somalis who are in the United States?
It's probably Nubia.
Where is Nubia?
Nubia is the southern section of Egypt. They're so black there that they're blue.
Yeah, I've heard of Nubians. We had it in Medrash a few weeks ago. But I'm asking you where, I'm saying that is the same neighborhood as Somalia. Remember, the political borders today don't have to be the same. What?
You've got the Sudan underneath Egypt.
Where's Somalia?
Somalia is directly underneath that.
Yeah, in the
So
Horn.
I'm asking you, Rudy,
Yeah.
do you know, we don't know any Somalis in the U.S. who are stirring up.
Omar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, what?
Elon Omar.
I thought there were Somalis in Springfield, refugees.
Yes, we're at a Jewish Family Service, and we're supporting them. So, okay. So that's that. Are you ready for the next one, guys? It's 7:13. We started a little late. Mincha today is 7:40, so I got a few minutes.
Good. I'll
Can
continue.
I read you 2 stories? Few stories?
All right.
3 stories?
So Chaim,
Chaim.
Plishtim came from Ham via Mitzrayim.
Okay. By Plishtim, it says that I don't remember that it's not even clear who they came from.
Yeah. According, it says that
Are you reading it, Rudy?
Breshit 10:14 is interpreted by Rashi based on Medrash Rabbah. Says that the Plishtim descended from Ham via his son Mitzrayim.
Okay, thanks. By the way, thank you. I'll get that in a minute. Alan's question before, by all of Noach's children and descendants, it says, Shem bore sons and daughters. His son Arpachshad bore sons and daughters. Shelach bore sons and daughters. By all of them, it says that. By Noach, it says Noach lived after the flood 350 years. All the days of Noach, 950 years, and he died. It does not say he bore sons and daughters.
He died during the time of Abraham, right?
He died when Abraham was 58 years old. You know how I know that? What year was Abraham born? You don't remember?
Something 48.
Exactly. Abraham was born in 1948 of the Jewish calendar. When Abraham was 48 years old, they made the Tower of Babel.
Right.
When Abraham was 58 years old, what Hebrew letters make 58?
Nun Ches, Noach.
Yes.
Nun Ches Noach. When Abraham was Noach, Noach died.
Got it. Very cool.
Okay, so now the next story is the story of the Tower of Babel. First, I'm going to read you a few. So, the Tower of Babel, King Nimrod. The later king of Bavel was King Nebuchadnezzar. I'm going to read, I think, a couple stories, 2, 3 things as an introduction. Book of Daniel, chapter 2. In the second year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams and his spirit was troubled. His sleep was interrupted. The king commanded to summon the necromancers, astrologers, sorcerers to tell the king his dreams. They came and stood before the king. The king said, I dreamed a dream. My spirit is troubled to know the dream. They spoke to the king in Aramaic. May the king live forever. Tell your servants the dream. We shall tell the interpretation. The king replied, the matter has escaped me. If you do not let me know the dream and its meaning, you shall be torn limb from limb, and your houses shall be made into a dung heap. If you tell me the dream and its meaning, you will receive gifts and lavish presents and great honor from me, but tell me the dream. They replied a second time, let the king tell the dream to his servants, we shall tell the meaning. The king replied, in truth, I know that this time you are doomed, because you see that I don't remember. If you do not tell me the dream, there is but one law for you. If you have prepared yourselves to say before me a false and corrupt word until the time changes, tell me the dream. I will know that you will tell me its meaning. The Chaldeans replied again, there's no man on the earth who can declare the king's word. No great and powerful king has asked such a thing of any necromancer, astrologer, or Chaldean. The matter the king asks is difficult. There's no other who can tell it before the king but angels. In view of this, the king was in great wrath and anger, ordered to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. A decree was issued, and the wise men were being slain, and Daniel and his colleagues were sought to be slain. Okay, I think they actually stopped this before they killed anyone. Daniel answered with counsel and good sense to Arioch, the king's chief executioner, who had gone out to slay the wise men of Babylon. The king's executioner, he's just doing his job. You know, they're not blaming him.
Yeah.
He probably feels sympathy with them. He replied and said to Arioch, the king's ruler, why was the decree issued so hastily from before the king? Daniel said that. Arioch made the matter known to Daniel. Daniel entered and requested of the king that time be given him, and an interpretation would be told to the king. Daniel went home and let his colleagues, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, know the matter, to pray and beg of Hashem of heaven about the secret, that Daniel and his colleagues should not perish with the remaining wise men of Babylon. The secret was revealed to Daniel in the vision of the night. Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel spoke of and said, may the name of God be blessed from everlasting even to everlasting, to whom are wisdom and might. He said, Lehevei Shmei Di Elokam Mavarach Min Olma Viad Olma. Very close to what we say in Kaddish. He changes the times and the seasons, he removes kings and successive kings, he grants wisdom to the wise, and so on, and he gives more praise. Daniel came to Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men, and he said to him, do not destroy the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will tell the king the interpretation. Arioch brought Daniel in before the king in haste, and he said to him, I have found a man of the exiles of Judea, who will let the king know the interpretation. The king spoke up and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, do you have the ability to tell me the dream that I've seen and its interpretation? Daniel answered the king, the secret the king asks, no wise men, astrologers, necromancers, demonologists can tell the king, but there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he lets King Nebuchadnezzar know what will be at the end of days. That is your dream and the visions of your head on your bed. You, king, your thoughts came all on your bed. What will be after this? The revealer of secrets lets you know what will be. And I, not with wisdom that I possess more than anyone else, he revealed the secret to me, in order that they should let the king know the interpretation. King, you were watching, and behold, one great image, an image which had a large base, with unusual splendor, was standing opposite you, and his form was frightening. That image had a head of fine gold. Its chest and its arms were of silver. Its belly and thighs were of copper. Its legs were of iron, and its feet were partly of iron and partly of clay. You were watching until one stone that was hewn without hands struck the image on its feet of iron and clay, and crumbled them. Then the iron, the clay, the copper, the silver, and the gold crumbled together, and they were like chaff from the threshing floors of the summer. The wind carried them off, and no place was found for them. And the stone that struck the image became a huge mountain and filled the entire earth. Yeah, last time he has spicy food for supper. This is the dream, and its interpretation will recite before the king. You, King of kings, as God of heaven, gave you a strong, powerful, and prominent kingdom. Wherever people, wild beasts, and birds of the sky dwell, he has given into your hand and has given you dominion over them all. You are the head of gold. After you will arise another kingdom, lower than you, and a third kingdom of copper, which will rule over the entire earth. A fourth kingdom will be strong as iron, for iron crumbles and flattens everything. Like iron, which shatters all these, it will crumble and shatter. What you saw, the feet and the toes, which are partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, so it will be a divided kingdom. In it will be some of the strength of iron. In view of what you saw, iron mixed with clay. The toes of the feet were partly iron, partly clay. Part of the kingdom will be strong and part of it will be broken. What you saw, iron mixed with clay, kanose will mingle with the seed of men. They will not cleave one to the other. In the days of these kings, God of heaven will set up a kingdom forever. It will not be destroyed. The kingdom will not be left to another people. It will crumble and destroy all these kingdoms. It will stand forever. Just as you saw that from the mountain a stone was hewn without hands, and it crumbled or smashed the iron, copper, clay, silver, and gold, the great God has let the king know what will be after this, and the dream is true, and its interpretation is reliable. King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face and prostrated himself before Daniel. He ordered to offer up a meal offering and libations to bring him satisfaction. The king replied to Daniel and said, "Truly, your God is the God of gods and the master of kings, and he reveals secrets, being that you were able to reveal this secret." The king elevated Daniel and gave him many great gifts and gave him dominion over all the capital cities of Babylon, and he was the chief prefect over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he appointed over the affairs of the capital cities of Babylon Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And those were the Babylonian names of Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and Daniel was in the king's gate. Much of the book of Daniel is cryptic, very hard to interpret. Even this, there are lots of interpretations exactly who are the four kingdoms. We did have in Apples from the Orchard at least once that you are the head of gold, that the nation of Babylon corresponds to gold. Because of the story, you are the head of gold, Daniel said. Okay, any comments or questions? I could go to the next one.
No.
Okay, next one, chapter 3.
Chapter 5.
King, what?
Chapter 5.
Alan,
Story, baby.
look here.
Oh, what?
Chapter
that.
3 of Daniel.
Oh,
King
that.
Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold. Its height 60 cubits, its width 6 cubits, and he set it up in the plain of Dura, or the valley of Dura, in the capital city of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar sent together satraps, prefects, governors, judges, treasurers, counselors, sheriffs, and all the rulers of the capital cities to come to the dedication of the king, of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. The satraps, prefects, governors, judges, treasurers, counselors, sheriffs, and all the rulers of the capital cities were gathered to the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and they were standing opposite the image. The announcement was issued. To you we are saying, O peoples, nations, and tongues, at the time you hear the sound of the whistling horn, the clavichord, harp, psaltery, bagpipes, and all kinds of musics, you shall fall and prostrate yourselves to the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever will not fall and prostrate himself at that time be cast into a burning, fiery furnace. In view of all this, at the time when all people heard the sound of the whistling horn, clavichord, blah, 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 everyone would prostrate themselves to the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. At that time, Chaldean men approached and denounced the Jews. May the king live forever. You, O king, gave an order that any person who hears the sounds of music shall fall and prostrate himself to the golden image. Whoever does not will be cast into the fiery furnace. There are Judahite men whom you appointed over the affairs of the capital cities of Babylon, namely Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these men did not take counsel to follow your decree. They do not worship your God. They do not prostrate themselves to the golden image. Nebuchadnezzar, in wrath and anger, ordered to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men were brought before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spoke up. Is my decree meaningless, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not worship my God, that you do not prostrate yourself to the golden image I have set up? Behold, you are destined at the time you hear the whistling sound and so on, all the music, to fall and prostrate yourselves. Who is a God who will save you from my hand? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered to the king, Nebuchadnezzar, we do not care to answer you about this matter. Behold, there is our God whom we worship. He can save us from the burning fiery furnace from your hands. O king, he will save us. If not, let it be known to you that we will not worship your God. Neither will we prostrate ourselves to the golden image that you have set up. Nebuchadnezzar was filled with wrath, and the features of his face changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He shouted and ordered to heat the furnace 7 times as much as it should be heated. He commanded mighty men in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. These men were bound in their cloaks, their trousers, their robes, their garments, and they were cast into the burning fiery furnace. In view of this, the furnace, the word of the king was urgent. The furnace was heated excessively. These men who had brought up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were killed by a spark of fire. That means that the guards who threw them into the fire were burned themselves. That's how hot the fire was. These men, the 3 of them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell into the burning fiery furnace bound. King Nebuchadnezzar was bewildered and stood up in haste. He shouted and said to his leaders, did I not cast 3 men into the fiery furnace bound? They answered and said to the king is true. He called out and said, behold, I see 4 free men walking in the midst of the fire. There is no wound upon them, and the form of the 4th one is like that of an angel. Then Nebuchadnezzar approached the gate of the burning fiery furnace. He shouted and said, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, step out and come. They came out of the midst of the fire. The satraps, prefects, governors, leaders of the king gathered and saw these men. The fire had taken no effect on their bodies. The hair of their heads was not singed. Their robes had not changed. The smell of fire had not been absorbed by them. Nebuchadnezzar cried out and said, blessed be Hashem of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel and rescued his servants who trusted him, deviated from the command of the king, risked their lives in order not to worship or prostrate themselves to any god except to their God. An order is issued by me that any people, nation, or tongue that will speak amiss about the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb from limb, and his house shall be made into a dung heap, because there is no other God who can save in this matter. The king made Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego prosper in the capital city of Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar said to all the peoples, nations, may your welfare increase. The signs and wonders that the Most High God has done with me, it behooves me to recite. How great are his signs, how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an eternal kingdom, and his dominion is with every generation. So those are 2 stories from the book of Daniel, chapters 2 and 3. They are well-known stories, although we may not have read it here, seen it in its original. The Gemara, I'm not going to do this now, so but the Gemara has amazing comments, commentary on these stories. But next week we're going to go to Noach, section 5 of Noah. Now that I gave this introduction now, so next week we'll start reading right inside. I already sent you the notes, so you can read inside for yourselves. If you want, you can read ahead, but we'll continue, God willing, next Tuesday night.
Let's go.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys. Good to see everyone. Gershon, good to see you. All right.
Shalom uvracha.
Thanks. Take it easy, everyone.
I'll see you in the morning.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.